we win. The Friday Power Lunch is recorded before a live Zoom audience. Follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and show us some love and become a sponsor through Patreon. The Friday Power Lunch. Badass women getting things done.
All right. Are you pumped up or what? We got to do whatever it takes. Carrie Short, our MC, is trying to get her sound back. But we're at 2:08. And today, Carrie, so glad maybe you can hear. Can you hear?
Yes, now it's
Okay.
all is well. I guess I was dancing so hard because that's my climbing song in my bike routine. So I was like, I think I was dancing so
You're
hard
hitting a hill. Well, I
I
want
cut
to
my audio off.
remind everybody we're a little different today because we do have a candidates here with us. So they have a time constraint. So we're going to go right to the first part of our show. First, I just want to say welcome. You're on the Friday Power Lunch, Network Nov Live. It's May 16th. We need to get down to business so we can make sure that we hear from our attorney generals. And because there's a time constraint, we're going to start with Jay Jones first. And this show will be run by Carrie Short asking questions. This is how the rule will go. Candidates get 2 minutes. Hi, Jay Jones.
Hi.
Good to see you. You ready? You're in the hot
Oh,
seat.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
You're in the hot seat. You ready? Okay, 2 minutes. We're going to let you introduce yourself any way you want, no constraints. And then Carrie was going to have you pick a number from 1 to
Looks like 12.
1 to 12, and then that will be your random question. So
Okay.
welcome, and I'm going to hand it over to you. And Carrie, go ahead, Jay. Welcome.
Well,
Jay,
thank you. Yeah, thank you guys. It's good to see Catherine, my dearest for now, and Carrie, and so many of my friends from across Virginia and across the country. Great to be with you. I am Jay Jones. I'm running to be the next Attorney General of Virginia. I don't have to explain to any of you about the chaos that's coming out of Washington and how that's impacting people all across Virginia. Everywhere we go, we hear a story. For so many people, it's personal. Just like me, my mother-in-law is a 30-year government employee. She works for the SEC. She's worked dutifully and ably overseeing these unelected oligarchs. And now she's got to send Elon Musk an email every Friday telling him what she did last week. And she does it not because she wants to. She does it because she's trying to survive, because her job lasts for another few years before she can retire. And so she, like so many others, is feeling less safe and less secure. And we have Democratic attorneys general who are stepping up to sue, to push back. But our attorney general, Jason Miyares, won't do a thing, hasn't lifted a finger, has had over 100 days to demonstrate that he's going to fight for us, protect us, work for us, like he said he would in his oath 3 years ago. But I'm here to tell you that he's failed, and we deserve better, and that's why we've got to go beat him in the fall. I served in the legislature. We did tremendous things. We expanded Medicaid, increased teacher pay, raised the minimum wage. I am proof positive, as my mentor and friend Ralph Northern will tell you. When Democrats are in charge, good things happen. I've been an assistant attorney general for the District of Columbia doing consumer protection, where we took on the big banks, the big tech companies, the ghost gun manufacturers. We sued them and put them out of business, because when you have thoughtful leadership at the top, good things can happen. And for the last few years, I've been fighting Glenn Youngkin and Jason Miyares in court on behalf of folks like the Virginia NAACP, suing to protect voting rights. And so those three things, my time in the legislature, my time in the public sector, my time in the private sector, I think lend itself to this moment to go beat Jason. I'm so proud to have the support of folks like Governor Northam, Governor McAuliffe, Congressman Bobby Scott, and hundreds of federal and state and local leaders from across the Commonwealth who believe that we're best poised to go beat Jason in the fall, not just to beat back Donald Trump, but to use the office in an affirmative way. So thank you guys again for having me. I'm ready for my question. And do I get to pick my number now, Carrie?
no, we're going to let Shannon introduce herself.
Okay.
And then we are going
we can't do that because Jay
Oh.
has to leave. So
okay. All right. So we're going to
Jay
do it that
leaves,
way
and then
then.
he'll come back maybe for the after chat, but we got to do one
Got you. Okay.
at a time.
All right. Jay, give us your number.
Yep. My lucky number is 4. So let's go with that.
All right. Number 4. What question would you like to get asked that you do not get asked?
Wow. Okay. The question I want to get asked is, what does the Attorney General's office actually do? Because so many people have no idea what the AG can do for you in this moment. And I will just say, it's a civil litigation office. It is an office that is supposed to work for people, to go after the price gougers, the corporate landlords, the corporate polluters, the big pharmaceutical companies, to protect civil rights and civil liberties, and including a woman's right to an abortion. And that's what we're poised to do. That's what we can do. For the last 3 years, we've gotten nothing out of Jason Miyares. He'd rather pursue a partisan political agenda that he takes from Fox News that he takes from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, right? He's had time and time again over the last 100 days to demonstrate that he's going to work for us, and he doesn't. But I've done this work, right? I've been an assistant attorney general. I do this stuff in the private sector. And so all of those things, I think, lend itself to doing the job, right? For the last 3 years, we've had a no-show, and we deserve better. And so hopefully people will understand that there's really not a lot of criminal stuff that goes into this job. It's really about protecting people in the civil aspect. And that's where I've made my bones. That's where I've made my career. And so I'm excited to get to work to do the job that this guy clearly doesn't feel like doing.
Awesome. We're going to keep running so we can get as many questions in as possible. All right. Pick another number.
7.
All right. How would you navigate Virginia's participation in data centers? We have a lot of folks from Northern Virginia. This has been hot on their list. We want to hear what you have to say about that.
Yeah, well, look, I'm from Norfolk, and so we don't have the data center issue front and center for us, but my in-laws live in Prince William County, so it's something that they have to think about and deal with pretty often. And so, look, I think as I've talked to folks like Phyllis Randall, the chair of the Board of Supervisors in Loudoun County, and folks on the Prince William County Board of Supervisors, they're navigating with this issue. And I think, look, I understand it's a local issue, it's a zoning issue. However, we want to make sure that folks are adhering to the Virginia Clean Economy Act. I am very, very concerned that Dominion is trying to end run the requirements of the Clean Economy Act when it comes to data centers by saying they can't meet the needs and therefore don't have to comply. I proudly voted for the Clean Economy Act in 2020. I don't take money from Dominion. We certainly want to be the watchdog and hold them accountable that the Attorney General should be doing. They haven't gotten that for the last 3 years. They've been running roughshod over us. We want to fight for the consumer. We want to fight for the average working Virginian to get money back in their pockets. And so as AG, I don't have any direct control over data centers, but we'll certainly be watching Dominion like a hawk to make sure that they play by the rules so that as the localities address this issue, no one's getting ripped off and no one's getting overcharged, and everybody gets the fair shake that they're supposed to.
Yeah, we appreciate that. All right, pick another number. You're doing well.
Another number, and it's 1 to 12, right?
Yeah.
4, 7. All right, let's do. I got two little boys. Charles is almost 3, and Zach is 9 months old. So let's do 2.
Number 2. All right. What lawsuit should we have participated in that we didn't? And what would you have done? Why would it benefit Virginia for you to have chosen that?
Softball.
Well, I can't pick just one, right? We should have joined every single one. And I hope everybody on this Zoom understands that when we don't participate in these lawsuits, we don't get any of those protections, right? The states like Massachusetts and Minnesota and Nevada that have stepped up to push back on this chaos and this craziness, they have availed themselves of those protections. Those states have their research funding protected. Those states have their workers protected. We have been left high and dry. And so for me, on day one, the first thing we do when we get sworn in is we join those lawsuits, right? We have federal workers who are desperate here in Virginia for that protection, right? My mother-in-law is one of these people. Protecting our federal workers is important. Protecting our funding is important. I hear from folks all across the Commonwealth. In Roanoke, they are worried about whether or not the VA hospital is going to remain open because of the federal funding issue that they're dealing with, right? That's healthcare for our veterans. That's jobs for people in the Valley. This is a really, really deep issue. School boards across the Commonwealth have told me, look, we might not have enough money to pay the school bus drivers to get our children to school. That breaks my heart, right, as a parent of school-age children. And so we have to make sure that we are getting in these lawsuits and we're pushing back. And I'm excited because we sit in the Fourth Circuit, and Virginia actually has the opportunity to go on offense when we're elected as Attorney General to initiate these lawsuits, use our good judges, use our good case law to hold these people accountable, because we deserve so much better. And that's why I think we can go beat Jason in the fall. And that's why I'm asking for y'all's support in this Democratic primary.
You are doing really great with these questions. I'm holding my tongue because we're just supposed to run the questions. I have, I want to be fair to both candidates, so I have to be really good about this. But I think you've got time for one more.
Wait, no, I got to interject here. Time.
Oh, all right.
Why I'm saying is Jay said he had to leave, so I built it out so he could go.
Thank you, guys. And I love coming to the show. I love seeing all you guys. I just want to thank you for your energy, your passion, your vision, your commitment to the cause. All of you every week and the work that you put in. There are brighter days ahead. This is a big election. We're going to elect Abigail as our next governor. We're going to get the gavel back in the Senate. We're going to go beat Jason, and we're going to grow our majority in the House of Delegates. I'm greedy. I want 60 seats, and all of us have a part to play in that. And this is going to be big. So we've got to show not just the Commonwealth, but the country and really the world at this point that we're better than what we've seen for these last 100 days. My staff is on the Zoom. They will put some information in the chat in case anybody wants to help us out, get involved. But thank you guys so much. Thank you for accommodating me, and we'll see you guys very, very soon. And for now, please tell Sam I said hello.
I will.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jay.
That's great.
All right, guys. Have a good
Thank
one.
you. It's whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. Let's take a second there. Boy, that was a lot of fun.
I got to breathe now.
I know that was a lot of fun. And I was thinking that for now that we've went off our first and we have Shannon Taylor here, it'd be so exciting to have her. But let's say that I love the bell. Robin, thank you for that bell. That we use the same questions and just reorder them again. So we still have 12. Do you want to just make sure you change them up? So Shannon will have the same chance to get that same question. I think they're all good. So how do we do that? We just mix those numbers up. Carrie,
Mix
and
up
then
the
you're
numbers.
on to the next one. Okay.
Sure. All right. Okay, I've got it.
Okay, let's, and that was really good. Let's bring up Shannon Taylor. I feel like I want to have ding, 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 ding. Shannon, hello, Shannon Taylor.
Hello. I know this
Ready?
is this must be, the amazing Friday, because not only is it the awesome power lunch, but obviously all the candidates here, we are multitasking and in different areas. So I'm in a remote space myself. But I do want to say good afternoon to everybody. I am Shannon Taylor. I am the current.
Wait, 1 second. Is this your 2 minutes?
Yes, ma'am. Let's get into it.
You don't
Let's
need to
get
invite her
into
to
it.
go. She goes.
Keeps going.
She
Yes,
goes.
put it on. There we go.
All right.
There's the timer.
So good afternoon, everyone. I am Shannon Taylor. I am the Commonwealth attorney for Henrico County, and I do want to be your next Virginia Attorney General. And what we know right now is that whether it is, Elon Musk and Donald Trump, whether it's the DOGE antics or it's the executive orders that are coming out of the White House, every action is directly impacting certainly the nation, but definitely Virginia. And we have an attorney general who is doing absolutely nothing to keep these actions in check. Because Jason Miyares is either sitting on the sideline and not looking at the constitutionality or the legality of these actions, or worse, he doubles down with vitriol and threatens organizations and institutions if they don't follow the executive orders. And when we talk about what Elon Musk and his, DOGE crew are doing in the name of government efficiency, I'm a prosecutor. I know fraud. This is not the way that you handle business. And so we need to have an attorney general who knows what they're doing on day one. So what does that mean for Shannon Taylor and the support that I'm hoping I can earn from you all? It means that I am a proven leader. I'm a proven elected official who, having been 4 times elected, beating Republicans. I have been a leader in the courtroom and outside of the courtroom. I have led teams actually prosecuting cases, actually putting together approaches for good public policy, and can tell you that when you say I have a fighter in Shannon Taylor, you know that you can take it to the bank. You're going to have the hardest worker out there, and I will never quit on Virginians. And so what we know is we want that experience, because that is what counts. Not a professional politician, but a learned lawyer who's going to guide the biggest law firm in this state to protect Virginia's back.
Sounds
All right,
awesome.
on time, too.
Yeah, very good. Oh, wait, you get a good theme for being under time.
Oh, yay!
I guess that's what that meant. We're being swept away by the dramatic music.
Hey, listen,
All right, so
I'm a rule follower.
I know. So great. All right. So the next question, I'm going to take the same questions that Jay picked, but I'm just going to mix them up a little bit. What lawsuit should we have participated in that we didn't? And what would you have done about it and why?
I think that we're going to kind of maybe say the same thing here, because what the reality is yes, all of them, we should be all involved in all of them. But what I can tell everybody on this call is that when I win the primary on June 17th, on June 18th, I'm going to be calling up to the Democratic Attorney General's Association and talking to Sean, the director up there, to say, hey, Sean, get me on that call. Because what we know has been happening is that it is the Democratic Attorneys General in this nation who've been gathering every week and having a call. They studied Project 2025. They were anticipating what was going on. They're being very purposeful about which states are actually leading the charges on the lawsuits. Is it going to be three of them? Is it going to be all 22? Who's going to do that? Because Virginia, we have been directly impacted by these executive orders but like much more than some of the other states. So what I'm going to like to do is look to see come December 31st, so we can take action, beginning of January, find out which lawsuits can Virginia join in. Is she missing out because of the process? Does she need to initiate her own? Is that still viable? And then what I like to call the X factor, which is everything that's happening between now and the end of this year, because we know that these four guys are all palling around, right? Musk and Trump being flanked by Youngkin and Miyares. They've got more stuff that they're going to do that is going to be impacting Virginians. So I'm going to do the best job I can to make certainly the Virginians that have been hurt, make them whole, and do whatever I can to make sure that the fewest people are impacted by these disastrous executive orders and decision making. And again, having been somebody who has been in the room, has been the leader, putting together good public policies and good approaches when it comes to lawsuits, you know that you can count on Shannon Taylor for that.
Awesome. All right. You did so well. We're getting requests to give you your own chance to pick your own numbers. So I'm just gonna, for reviewing purposes, you just answered number 2.
Okay.
So you get to pick a number between 1 and 12, except for 2. And just PS, Jay picked 4 and 7. So between
Correct.
1 and 12.
All right. How about 9?
9. Love this question. How would you lend your support to Virginia's rural communities?
Oh, thank you. Great. First of all, when you're going to be a statewide official, you are representing this entire state. So I am, grew up in Albemarle Public School, Albemarle High School, came to Henrico area after graduating from the University of Virginia, and Henrico is now my home base, right? But I know that not only through my colleagues being the president of the Prosecutors Association, there's 120. And that means we have offices that are one elected to having 50 attorneys. We know that we are talking about jurisdictions in this Commonwealth that are 4,000 people in Floyd County up to 1.2 in Fairfax. I know that having been the elected since 2012 and been an active member engaging in conversations with my colleagues, I have been staying up on the issues that they talk about. And we're talking about Republicans, independents, and Democrats. So I'm listening. I have those good relationships with my colleagues. I'm listening to them. And in addition to knowing that I have that direct contact with them in the rural part of the state, I actually was out there. I went out there. I was running for my own reelection in 2023, but in 2024, I devoted time to go out to the places for the congressional the candidates who weren't getting all of the the spotlight. So I was out there with Ken Mitchell in CD6. I was out there with Karen Baker in CD9. I was out there with Gloria Witt in CD5, since that also covered my hometown. And of course, did what I could do to help Leslie Mehta in my CD1, and being able to engage with the local Democratic committees in all of those areas, Washington County, Franklin County. I could hear the voters there. And I promise everyone here again, winning that primary on June 17th, it's going to be engaging with all of Virginia.
Right. Thank you. That's what it's going to take. Thank you for that. All right. I think you get another number.
Okay. Well, let's see. How about
I'm going to put the minute timer on it.
3?
Number.
And of course, it's going to be like the most complicated question.
No, this was probably easy. I don't know. Anyway. Okay. Your top focus as Attorney General will be what?
Oh, seniors. One of the big things that I want to do, not only about bringing in the good work that Mark Herring had done and actually using the environmental protection group, actually doing the consumer protection, not just holding up things for PSAs and making glossy TV ads, actually going in there and doing the work and the enforcement of regulation to include our seniors. Right now, we have a Medicaid fraud unit. I want to expand that to make it a senior unit, because what we know is that in 2035, the largest population in this nation will be 65 and older. We are entrusting our loved ones, not only with in-home healthcare workers, but also entrusting them in nursing homes. And by golly, if you've been watching the news, nursing homes are really being scrutinized right now, and the regulation has not been enforced by Jason Miyares. I want to bring my prosecutor experience, my all the breadth of my relationships to the forefront and be able to do everything we can to protect our best people.
Oh, you won the award.
That is why. That's so great. In a world, all the movie stuff. Okay. To be fair, we've got one more question because we did three. All right. So you
Okay.
got another
We
number?
had longer answers, so I'm saying that if we want to keep time, we have 6 others. So if we keep
It's
it
your
really short,
call.
one more, and
It's your
you
call,
have
Big Mike. One more, or we are out of time.
one more and 20
Okay.
seconds.
Okay, 5.
What is something that people don't know about you but should because it makes you better for the job?
Oh, well, I would say I'm a very good listener, but I actually want to be able to tell you all something else. I'm a singer, and I probably missed my American Idol moment. But the reason I say that is because I love engaging with people. I mean, I know that we talk about being statewide candidates and being out on the trail and engaging with people, but I love to be able to hear, the stories that people talk about in their past. And that's just kind of like a fun little fact about Shannon, that I'm a singer.
A
But
singer.
yeah, something
And
different
that
that
is
nobody
why.
knows.
I'm so glad we did that. That's good.
Awesome.
Love the
Good
special
question.
thing.
I don't know who submitted it, but thank you.
Thank you. Very
And
good.
Lauren, I'll get to you on that when I see you guys.
All right. And feel free to stick around and engage in the chat and put your stuff in there. Your team should be engaging in there. If you
Yes,
wanna
my
stay
team
for
is here. I've got another meeting that's starting at 12:30. So my team will be here. If I can jump back on, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, come
Awesome.
for the
Thanks for
after
your
chat.
time.
That's where it really
Absolutely.
happens. And
Thanks, Shannon.
people can ask you questions. All right,
Yes.
let's
Thank you.
make sure again. I want to welcome everybody in the room. Carrie, that was fantastic.
It's kind of game showy. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. I'll go to Sherman. I love the game show. We are doing a game show. We're with some trivia here. So I want to make sure that we start out because this is a Friday Power Lunch. We're a bunch of badass women do this show weekly, live. We have a live show. We have a podcast. I want to say thank you to Andrea Miller, who became a badass patron today, supporting us every month at $25. That is awesome. Thank you for investing in us, believing in our work. That really means a lot. And so I want to make sure that, we know it's episode 20 today. We're so excited. We're doing the candidates. We're doing the AG candidates today. And next up is Lieutenant Governor. But before we get to that, I wanted to give you guys a chance to have a little station break. And let's talk a little bit of a power chat. Fennell, you've been quiet. What do you want to do?
So if we're gonna power chat, so we'll talk about the summit a little bit later, I suppose. But I'll tell you what's been sort of on my mind, and this whole thing about birthright citizenship. And I don't know if we sort of think about how big that is and why it should be so important to every single person. And that is because it really sort of was born out of the Dred Scott decision, which was one of the worst decisions that the Supreme Court ever made. And I just think it's just kind of sad that for one of the worst decisions that the Supreme Court made, which is where this birthright citizenship comes from, that we're even engaging in conversation about it. So I think from a power chat perspective, that's just something that's on my mind today. And I think as we're talking about this election for Virginia, LGs and attorney generals, this is why not only for them is whatever it takes, but it's for each of us based on all the things that are happening, that we have to put our heads in this game and do whatever it takes.
It's a very big deal. We're talking about, we've been constantly, channeling my Simon Rosenberg with the unconstitutional, illegal, and wrong. It's just been the refrain for 100+ days. And that they are challenging our Constitution at this level is unbelievable to me. I also think you think about Dred Scott. I think about the fact that we are a nation of immigrants. Birthright citizenship is a fundamental part of the building of our nation. And to say that now every person has to litigate their own citizenship if it gets violated in each court, it boggles my mind the lengths that they are going to go to reframe our nation in their likeness.
Yes. And I'm going to go with my power chat, which is in that thread, the Afghani refugees that we brought here from, if you recall what happened with we pulled out of Afghanistan, we had not only people that help the troops there, but just what happened to the women and girls there. But people have been settled in this country now. People are living here under the temporary protection status, and they just revoked that. And I want to say to you that that made me so sick and angry. Every day there's something to be sick and angry about. But that particular one, on the same day or around the same day, they brought in the white Afrikaners or whatever from South Africa over as refugees, white people fleeing. I was just like, what the hellsy? And that really, really disturbed me because these people being sent back, that Kristi Noem said it's safe for them to go back to Afghanistan.
What? Let's send her there. She'd look great. She could do an amazing photo shoot at an Afghani school for girls. Oh, wait, there aren't any.
There aren't any. I feel like
Yeah.
she's not a real person. I feel like she's a robot. I'd like to see if she has some kind of like wiring in, but she's really evil. I wrote a post about her in Substack, and I just called her, this woman who shoots a dog. This is what we get.
So Catherine, this is the point that I want to make, which is why this conversation today with the AGs and the LGs is so important, and the governor. But it's also important about us as people who are building the brand and sort of are going to build the amplification and enthusiasm around this election. So no matter what you might be disappointed about with the candidate, this or that, at the end of the day, this election cannot be one where we just skim through. It has to be a really big margin. That only happens with enthusiasm. And so we have got a lot of work to do. If people aren't understanding to meet this moment that we're going to have to do things that we haven't done before, that we might be uncomfortable with, that we might not fully agree with, then you're not understanding the moment that we're in. And that's why the Women's Summit is so important, because we are going to make sure that everybody understands that, and that you have the tools, that you have the knowledge, that you have the understanding that you need to come back and fight the way that the country is demanding that we fight.
Yeah.
And it's going to take more. It's going to take the kind of skills that you pick up at the Women's Summit. Just yesterday, someone asked me, is there something for candidates? Like, is there a roadmap? She's on our leadership team. Is there a roadmap for candidates? How do they get trained? And I said, oh my God, we have a track at the Women's Summit for people who are running for office. Like, it's not just for the activists, it's for the candidates as well, or anyone who's thinking about running, or anyone who wants to support someone who's running. She's a volunteer. She wants to help Cheryl Smith in 98, who a lot of us down here feel is going to get overlooked because she's got a long shot. She's exactly the kind of candidate that COVA Coalition needs to be supporting right now. How do we even do it? I can't wait to talk about this at the Women's Summit when we get up there. And I invited her. I hope she comes.
Well, and for candidates in the room and incumbents too, make sure you get your ticket. Make sure you sponsor us. If you're an incumbent special and you haven't sponsored us, it's time to do that. And we really need it because we have an AV bill we have to pay. So real stuff. But we do have people coming in like Antonia Scatton, who's expert messenger, coming in. We have WIN number coming in with Nicole Hobbs Morrison. She's a sponsor, working up how to find your WIN number. People really working on fundraising, best ways to do that. We have a lot of good training. Andrea Mitchell will be there with all her tech toolbox people. And we will, so look, get that ticket. Be really important to do that today. If you can, that'd be super. And I wanted to say also that we have a little game. We're going to play a trivia game to get to open up the next lieutenant governor race, because with us today, we have Senator Ghazala Hashmi. We're going to interview Senator Aaron Rouse, Dr. Babur Lateef, and we may have two other people in the room that are running, Alex Bastani and Victor Salgado. I don't know if they're here, but just want to make sure I recognize everybody in the room. And the trivia, and it's a true or false. Whoever puts the right answer in gets a t-shirt. That's what we're going to say. So ready, get your fingers at the ready. First person that gets this right gets a t-shirt. All right, you ready? True or false? The Virginia Constitution sets no limit on the number of terms that can be served by a lieutenant governor. And if you're running for lieutenant governor, you're not allowed to. Okay, I see the T and F's going in there. Okay, the answer is it's true. While the governor is limited by the Constitution of Virginia to serve only one 4-year term, there is no limit on the number of terms that can be served by the lieutenant governor. How about that? Dang, Rochelle, sorry you missed that one. One more for the money, one more for a t-shirt. This is going to be the correct answer. Here's another lieutenant governor question. Some lieutenant governors have failed to win party nomination. But for those who have been nominated, only one Virginia lieutenant governor has lost an election for governor. Who was that? Some lieutenant governors have failed to win a party nomination, but for those that have been nominated, only one Virginia lieutenant governor has lost an election for governor. Who was that? If that Lisa was the first one that got that, that was Democrat Don Beyer in 1977. So there's some lieutenant governor stuff. So Stare, if you want to grab Lisa's name, I think she was the first in there. I'm going to hand this over to Fennell now to start, but you want to tell the rules of the road all time. Fennell, you're going to give them the other stuff that they need to do.
Yeah, so this is really exciting. So I am so excited to get to do this. And so we're going to be talking, of course, to the LGs. You each are going to have 2 minutes, just like we did for the AGs, to introduce yourself. Catherine will be timing. And then we'll get to have you have the opportunity to choose a number. And then you'll get to answer the question that you choose. And it looks like that Aaron is first. And so so we're going to start with, yeah, I get to have them because I should have them all here because it's
Put them all
easy.
on. Let's bring them
Yeah,
all
put
up.
them all
Laura,
on. So this is
Laura has
fantastic.
to leave anyway, so she probably wants to get her spotlighting done, and then she
Okay,
can.
so who has to leave?
We have
Okay.
Bobber's here.
Here's
Bobber.
Barbara. Okay, perfect. So it doesn't, well, we'll just start this way. So Aaron, you'll go first with your 2 minutes.
Thank you so much. And I'm happy to be here. Good to see you all. What better way to spend a Friday than with some badass women? That's what I'm talking about right there. And I mean that for my household as well. My wife, who serves on Virginia Beach City Council, is downstairs also. So she's listening in on this also. Listen, I am Aaron Rouse. You all know me. I am running for lieutenant governor because we need a fighter. We need someone who can fight back against Donald Trump and Elon Musk and what they're trying to do to erode our democracy, and as well as take away rights of citizens, not only in Virginia, but throughout our nation. As you all know, I am battle tested. I ran in a district that Youngkin won by 5 points, and we flipped that district, becoming the deciding vote to protect women's reproductive freedom in our Senate. I went on to pass legislation to support our military communities, as well as finding tax relief for our seniors and those families with disabilities. My daughter has Tourette's, and so we know all too well the difficulties in dealing with that, and especially when it comes to schooling. Listen, I am excited about running for lieutenant governor because we get an opportunity to move our Commonwealth forward. And for now, as you stated, and as you all know, whatever it takes. I come from someone who was raised in a single parent household. My grandmother helped take care of us. Unfortunately, she died from breast cancer at the young age of 49. My grandfather put me to work at 10 years old, and I've been working ever since I've been 10 years old, whatever it takes to make sure I don't follow in the footsteps of my father. I was a first generational college student. Not only in college was I a student, I was an athlete, as many of you know, but I also took care of my younger brother, who was 2 years younger than I was, because I refused to lose him to the streets. I also was a parent. I used to drive home every other week from Virginia Tech to make sure that my family understood how important it was to be together. And I also got a job working in construction. And so when we're talking about building an economy for everyone, I'm the guy to do it. Thank you for your
All right, thank you, Aaron. That was great. Thank you, Aaron. And you finished just in time. So I'm doing this alphabetically. So Barbara, I'm gonna go to you next.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It is a true honor to be here with you all. My name is Babur Lateef. I'm the current chairman of the Prince William County School Board and have been so for the last 7 years. I am a practicing ophthalmologist, eye surgeon, as well for the last 25 years here in Prince William County. My wife is a pediatric neurologist and a research scientist with the NIH, a federal worker. So we all understand how important the devastation of the impacts of the federal workforce are right now. I'm a parent of 4 fabulous kids. As chairman of the school board in Prince William County, we've given teachers a 61% raise, the largest in the nation in the same time period. We've improved student performance across all demographic groups, and we've made sure students have won record scholarship dollars, going from 20 million a year 4 to 5 years ago to about 120 million now. And that's real dollars in real pockets for real people. I've served as chairman of the health system board at the University of Virginia, expanding Medicaid access, protecting reproductive rights, making sure we have IVF, making sure we're, handling contraception, and making sure our clinics everywhere allow anyone to come to them, and we accept all the insurances, and we expanded Medicaid faster and farther than anyone else. And that's why we have to defend it. I'm running for lieutenant governor because I care about affordable housing, affordability, access to quality education, and healthcare. I think it's really critical that we answer those needs, especially for folks. When we're looking at $1 to $2 billion surpluses in Richmond, we want to make sure those dollars are coming back to our communities to fully fund our schools and take care of folks. Things that I'm not for are casinos in Tyson's Corner, slot machines and 7-Elevens. I believe I represent the best chance to help Democrats this fall. I've won and represent 500,000 people in Prince William County, the largest district of any candidate in this race. I have more votes than any candidate in this race and did that 3 times. I've won in a race that in a district that's recently gone from red to blue, and I think that's important as we try to help Abigail win in the fall. And I'm uniquely positioned as a physician to hear from people on a daily basis.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Barbara. Appreciate that. Senator Hashmi, how are you today?
I'm good, and good afternoon to the badass women and allies who are on the call. I am so delighted to be here. I'm Ghazala Hashmi. I'm a 2-term Virginia State Senator, and I serve as chair of the Senate Committee on Education and Health. In 2019, I ran for office for the first time after teaching as a professor of American literature for almost 30 years. And, in that election together, we made history. We flipped a long-held Republican seat in the Richmond area, the former heart of the Confederacy, and we ensured that we secured a 1-seat majority in the Virginia Senate. And that election marked a turning point. It brought in a trifecta for the Commonwealth. And over the past 6 years now, I've had the privilege of representing a really diverse region, including Richmond and the surrounding localities. I've been working every day to champion the issues that matter the most to all Virginians, primarily focusing on improving our public schools, expanding access to affordable health care, and protecting abortion rights and broader reproductive freedom, also ensuring economic opportunity for every community. And as chair of Ed and Health, I fought to make sure that every child and every family has a fair shot. So I'm running now for lieutenant governor because I do believe Virginia and the entire country is at a crossroads. We need leadership that listens and that lifts up people. And given the crisis that we're seeing in DC, our state leadership is more important now than ever before. I'm working to be a voice for working families, for women, for immigrants. As an immigrant myself, I understand the crisis that so many of our communities are facing. And I've been endorsed by abortion rights groups, by labor, by our environmental leaders, including specifically the Sierra Club. I'm bringing the experience and the energy. Look forward to this discussion. Thank you.
Just like the Oscars.
I know it really is, but no hooks for you guys because you're all fantastic. So Senator Hashmi, since you got to go last,
Now,
I'm going to
may I interrupt real quick?
Sure.
We have another candidate in the room. If we want to give Alex, I think we have, bring him up on the screen to introduce Alex Bastani. Hi, Alex. And
Hi, Alex.
Fennell will take care of you. You have 2 minutes to introduce yourself and we'll get
So
going.
Alex, so welcome, Alex.
Great.
Get the clock rolling. 2 minutes starts now. Introduce yourself.
Great. Thank you all for having me on the Power Podcast. I'm glad you don't have a third P because I probably couldn't do it. My name is Alex Bastani. I'm running for Lieutenant Governor. I'm real excited to be here. I'm running on what I like to call the Virginia Workers' Freedom Act. We need universal health care for every Virginian because women's reproductive rights isn't simply limited to the right to abortion, but testing and screening. If anyone's heard my usual pitch, 2/3 of Americans can't afford a $500 emergency. So we're leaving a huge section of women out of the process without universal health care. I'm also supporting a $20 an hour minimum wage just as a reference, the median wage for African-American females in America is $38,000 a year. So we would get them at least to that higher level, to a working level. And quite frankly, there shouldn't be a situation. The word working poor should offend our language as much as any word. Third, student debt relief. As most of you know now, about 60% of the people in college now are women seeking a bachelor's. And they're the ones that are having their life put on hold because of student debt relief. If they want to choose a family, they don't have that choice. They can't buy a home until a week before retirement, and they can't invest in a business. So we need student debt relief. And fourth, and my favorite, is we've got to repeal the right to work law. Women there's at least a 20% premium for women when they join a union. They get paid 20% more, let alone the benefits, maternity leave and things like that. So we need unions in Virginia, and that's why I'm running on that slate. And I was a union leader. I was a union member for 30 years and the president of a local for 11 years, and I beat the clock by 4 seconds.
Thank you. Maybe
Thank
I'll give that time back to you somewhere.
Okay.
So Senator Hashmi, I'm so sorry that we interrupted, but you get to choose first. So you get to choose a number between 1 and 13.
Wonderful. Why don't I start with 7?
Number 7. Okay. Oh, this is the wrong one.
And I'm gonna
We'll
talk on for a minute, okay? So everybody gets a minute response once you're done answering, telling her the question, okay?
Okay. Let's see. Why is this not fixed up now? All right, here we go. Running statewide is tough. You have to travel the state. What is something that you found out that surprised you that you learned about Virginia while you were campaigning?
I have put on at least 19,000 miles on my little Prius, and it's gotten quite the wear and tear. But one thing that I have found that's been just wonderful for me is to get to talk to so many people all across Virginia, and they're passionate and lovely folks. And one thing I have noticed is that even though we have so many similar issues, the nuances are so different. And so listening to folks talk about education concerns in Northern Virginia, Southwest Virginia, here in the Central Virginia area, the little nuances help me to understand better how we need to make sure that policy that we pass addresses every community's needs and really responds effectively to the so many different individuals and communities all across the state.
Okay, thank you. And so everybody else gets a chance 1 minute. So we'll just go in order. So Babur, you'll go, and then we'll do Aaron, and then yeah. So go ahead, Babur.
Okay, great. Great question. So I have been traveling around the state. It has been fantastic getting to know people. Serving at the University of Virginia for the last 8 years on their Board of Visitors and in their chair of the Health System Board, we've had to do a lot of work, especially in our rural communities in Central Virginia and at Wise, where we have a university. Things that I've learned as I've gone around is that, broadband access is still a problem in some of our rural communities, and we still have a lot of work to do with that. That is a real issue. And what's really worrying to me is that in the redder areas where the Board of County Supervisors remain relatively very Republican, they have attacked our local libraries, and they're closing libraries. They're trying to shut down the library in Warren County. Hanover and King William are all worried about their libraries, where the supervisors just don't want to fund them anymore. And that's basically an attack. And we have to do more as Democrats to defend those districts from these extreme attacks on our libraries and on our communities.
Great, thank you. Save some time there. Aaron, Senator Rouse.
Well, thank you. Since I've traveled around our Commonwealth, I've done a number of oil changes myself and had to put a new transmission in my 2016 Tahoe. But it has been very encouraging to visit throughout our Commonwealth and see all the young people who are coming out to be on Team Rouse. And I think that is absolutely important as well when we're talking about protecting our democracy, making sure that young folks don't come apathetic about their civic responsibilities. And then quite frankly with you, the things that I've heard in the rural communities, I heard the same thing more like in our cities and more urban areas. We want better schools, construction, teachers want better pay, they need jobs. Transportation is a huge issue as well, and making sure we can keep our communities safe from gun violence and making sure we can protect our immigrant communities as well. These are all the issues that I'm hearing, and the same thing echoes across the Commonwealth. They want a fighter. They want someone with an effective record, and I'm glad they're on the team.
Thank you. Alex?
Thank you. Yeah, and what's incredibly inspiring is just the passion among our voters in the 5 congressional red districts. I mean, they are some of the most progressive people I've met. My God, they love unions. They're begging for unions. They're like begging for unions like people used to beg for the McRib. And it's just the enthusiasm in the red part of the state that just really is just exciting for me. These are the people that really believe in the party. These are the people that are starving for progressive policies. I may be the oldest candidate in this race, and so I remember we would never imagine that a Democrat would win the state. And when Barack Obama won in 2008, most people were like, wow, I can't believe we have a black president. I'm like, I can't believe Virginia voted for a Democrat. But it's because it's those progressive and those 5 red districts that are they're powering the engine of this party. Thank you.
Fantastic. Now listen, guys, I want everybody to have a chance to choose a number. So we're getting short on time. So I am going to give we're not going to have everybody else answer though.
We can let them go to 1, just so you know. Let's do a good forum.
You sure? Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
Why
All
not?
right, perfect.
People are enjoying it.
All right, good. If everybody's having fun. All right, so with the order that I'm going, Babur, you get to choose the next number.
Sure, let's go with 3.
Okay.
Lucky Youngstown 3, Babur.
Yes, it
Let's
is.
go, Madam White.
Okay, here we go. What is the most important piece of legislation coming up next year and why?
Ooh.
Wow. Well, look, I think the General Assembly's done a good job of passing the 3 constitutional amendments that they want to on protecting reproductive freedoms, on restoring restoration of rights, and on protecting marriage. And marriage equality. Those have to get passed one more time. Once they're passed one more time, they get to go on the ballot. So I think that's absolutely critical. I think on top of that, I would add that any bills and all bills that continue to support school funding. That is the biggest problem. So for many of you who might be in Fairfax, they're looking at $150, $300 million deficits, and much of the deficits are based on the back that the schools need more money. And so we need more money back to our communities, our schools, and it's the same in rural districts, right? So school funding, school construction continues to be a problem. Virginia is 42nd in the nation for its contribution to K through 12. So Richmond hasn't done enough. We need to do more. And so I consider all funding for schools among the most important legislation. Thank you.
Okay, and so we'll start with our 1 minute if we got time for that, Catherine. So yeah, I'm going to move back. So Aaron, go.
Well, thank you. I was as chairman of our state's privileges and elections committee. Not only was I happy to champion and usher in our 3 state constitutional amendments through our committee and to the floor and help them pass, but also was a champion, stood tall, making sure our voting rights are not rolled back as well. And so those 3 constitutional amendments are so important. But we also have to make sure we continuously work to find tax relief and to make sure we can build an economy that works for every single family. Affordable housing is a real issue. It is not just an issue for young folks who think the American dream is too far out of reach, but it's also an issue for our seniors who are getting priced out of their homes as well. And so I fought to make sure we got legislation signed to find tax relief for our seniors, as well as those families with disabilities. Once again, though, I am a product of our public education system, and we have to continue to make the case that a strong investment in K through 12 education will yield a higher return for our economy because we have a better workforce.
Thank you, Senator Rouse. Senator Hashmi?
Thank you. I won't echo what my colleagues just shared, but certainly, I'm a chief co-sponsor on those 3 constitutional amendments. We have to get those through. My Right to Contraception Act has been vetoed twice by Governor Youngkin. We have to get that through in this upcoming session. But I want to focus on the critical and urgent needs that are coming because of federal actions. We are possibly facing devastation to our entire healthcare system because of the cuts to Medicaid. And I have been focusing very strenuously on that issue as chair of Education and Health. We have to put in state level protections for Medicaid so that we don't reach the brink of crisis that we are currently facing. Secondly, I'm working with our education experts to protect civil rights protections for our students with special needs. At present, only the federal language protects full access to education rights for students with disabilities. If that language is removed federally, Virginia does not have any language protections in the code. That bill is being drafted even now as we speak.
Yeah, sorry. I'm laughing because everybody likes their whole minute. So I'm trying to
Yeah.
stop it before a minute. Go ahead.
Okay, very good. Alex?
Thank you very much. I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but the most important piece of legislation is the right to work law and repealing that. It's about empowering the people to take their own leadership. I'm going to, 65% of Americans support unions. This is the one, maybe, I don't know, there's such thing as a non-wedge issue. When I was a union president, we had a lot of Republicans in our union. The reason the union won up in Amazon, up in Long Island, is because they embraced the Republicans. And I know this might be a little off kilter, but I honestly believe that the union movement is the greatest form of DEI that you can ever have. It's an inclusive program. They've even done studies that white men who are unions tend to be the less sexist, the less racist, less homophobic. So unions create a community, and that's what we need more than anything in this state. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, we're going to keep on moving. Senator Rouse, what do you want to say, Catherine?
I want to say, so if you want to, we can do the 30-second roundup for every candidate to get a 30-second sort of ending, or what are you thinking?
Well, I'm gonna let Senator Rouse pick his number.
Oh, he gets to pick a number.
And then we can do the 30-second roundup. I think everybody's had a fair enough chance.
I think that'd be great. And what I'm going to do is put the timer on this time 30 seconds. So if you can answer short to the point.
Seconds. Oh
You're
my
gonna-
goodness.
You can do it, Senator. You can do anything.
You can
So,
do it. This
so
one
choose
is-
your number.
Go ahead, Fennell.
All right,
So
number
I'll
5.
do 5. Okay. All right. Number 5. Oh, you're gonna love this. Who's your hero and why?
Oh wow, that's a great one. So 30 seconds. My hero is my mother, because my mother has not only raised 4 kids by herself, but she also done it losing her mother to cancer. She also done it taking care of my grandfather, who was an Army veteran, taking him back and forth to the VA. We all graduated, my siblings and I, we all graduated from high school. My brother just got nominated for top 40 under 40 in his industry as well. So my sisters are doing well. And so my mother is my biggest hero with her uncomparable strength.
Okay, thank you. Senator Hashmi?
That's a really easy one for me. My hero is another badass woman, and that's my grandmother. She was born in 1918 in India, and in a time and a culture where women were denied an education. She was pulled out of formal education when she was just 8 years old, but she was one of the smartest individuals I ever knew. And she had a full commitment to the value of education. She ensured that both of her daughters got not just undergraduate degrees, but graduate degrees. And she lived to see each one of her granddaughters go on to earn doctorate degrees. So my grandmother has always been my hero.
Thank you, Senator Hashmi. Babur?
So, this is a tough one. It's my mom and my wife. But I want to, in all the same reasons why you would think that's true, but I want to focus on my newest hero that I think is really important. LaTanya McDade is the first African-American woman superintendent of a large district in Virginia. We hired her 4 years ago. She has come to Prince William County and dramatically improved student performance, taking us from the 24th best district to the 14th best district in the Commonwealth, increasing scholarship dollars, caring about all kids. That's my hero.
Thank you. And finally, Alex.
As a former Department of Labor employee, I have no choice but Miss Frances Perkins. Not only was she the first woman cabinet member, considering her accomplishments, she may have been the greatest cabinet member ever, period. Not only did she help design Social Security, most of the safety net programs that Donald Trump is trying to destroy right now were developed either by her at the national level or the state level when she was still working at New York. So we need more Frances Perkins in public service.
Wonderful. And so, Catherine, I'm going to hand it back, but I just want to thank Senator Rouse, Senator Hashmi, Mr. Lateef, Mr. Bastani. You guys, it's a lot of work ahead, and you got to meet the moment, and it's whatever it takes. So, Catherine, back to you.
I want to, yes, and let's stay together here for a second. And I want to say thank you again, but I do want to give everybody just a quick last word and keep it under that like 30-second, 20 seconds. I don't think I need my timer because I'll just give you the look, but let's just start. We'll go with Alex backwards. Alex, Babur, Ghazala, Aaron, go ahead.
Well, again, I want to thank you all for your time. I really believe this election is about the issues. It's not about the personalities. And I actually want everyone to look at all the websites, find out where people stand on the issues, and make your vote based upon that. And obviously, I believe that if you look at our issues and our issues that we are standing on, we'll win this election. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Babur.
Ms. White, yeah, great. Thank you. Great event. Unbelievable participation. So excited. Folks, I spend every day meeting with 30 to 40 patients a day. They are from all backgrounds, and I hear their stories every single day. And I worry about our young people launching their lives and their careers and affording their first homes. I worry about our parents as they start losing their independence. And I think those are the kitchen table issues we need to bring to the forefront as Virginians to win this next election. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Senator Hashmi?
Yeah, Hashmi?
Well, thank you so much to everyone that's on this call. You know, Virginia is where it's at now because of the hard work of everyone on this group. We have seen tidal shifts in the last 20, 30 years, and we are brought in the blue wave because of the values and the commitments that we hear from everybody on the call today. We are at a crossroads. A historic moment is in front of us. All eyes of the nation are watching to see what Virginia does. We have to protect our progress. We have to protect our democracy. More importantly, we have to protect our communities. That's why this election is so critical in 2025, not just for Virginia, but for the entire country.
Awesome. Oh, thank you. Aaron.
Thank you all so much for your time today. Listen, I'm running for lieutenant governor, not only to fight back against Donald Trump and Elon Musk, but to make sure every single Virginia has an opportunity to thrive. I'm the only candidate with local and state experience and an effective record of getting things done. That is why I'm supported by Senator Louise Lucas, chairman of our Senate, as well as Senator Mamie Locke and our former Majority Leader Dick Saslaw, and over 12 mayors throughout our Commonwealth. And I am just excited about getting on with the fight. And thank you all for your time today.
I didn't mean to end that way, but
it's all right. I saw 5 seconds and then it stopped. I was like, okay.
And I know my team here, the team here is very excited. One, I think we could all say that one thing I love about when we have primaries, I think one, they're really important. And I think we're just so proud to have all of you representing us and all of you around the Commonwealth getting out the message, like Fennell and Carrie saying, it's whatever it takes. We need to really make sure that everybody understands about this election. So we're so glad you're out there fighting. Some of you, if you want to stay to the after chat, make sure your team puts in all the links about your campaign, the upcoming events, and make sure that you're going to be at the Women's Summit. If you do win your race, big stage, 9 o'clock in the morning, Saturday, we want your butt on that stage. So, and if you don't win your race, we still want you at the summit because we are going to do this as a family. There's no doubt about it. So thank you to everybody today. We'll take these guys off the screen and we're going to wrap up for the after chat. I want to talk to the team real quick. Of course, somebody has their hand up already because that's what we do. But I want to give us a chance to wrap up. turn my time
Well,
off, but just give us a moment.
I mean, I want to say you got to feel good about the people fighting for us.
Yes.
I mean, these candidates are going to fight for us no matter where they end up, and you got to feel good about that. We have a lot of talent. We've got a deep bench. So I'm feeling hopeful after listening to everyone today.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, me too. I'm feeling hopeful. We have a moment to meet. And all I want people to keep in their head is every single day, what are you doing to meet the moment? And for our candidates, what are you going to do to meet the moment? And it just has to be different than what's happened before, because we are in a place that we've never been before, and we're just counting on you.
yes, that's so
Please
true.
lead. Please lead.
Lead, fight, win.
Please lead.
Power it. We're going to power it up. And so what I want to say to everybody to wrap things off, please, is that thanking everybody that was here today, all the candidates that took their time to be here. Jay Jones and Shannon Taylor were just here as well. We do have some time in the after chat. I know there was a candidate that came in late. We'll make sure we see you in the after chat to say hello to you and give you a chance to talk. I want to say, if you're a Patreon and you support us, you don't know how much that means to us. I can't say it enough that when you put support in this cup, when you become a patron, that monthly dues that comes in really helps us have the money to keep this going. It's not, I could tell you what, we love it. So thank you for that. And Andrea Mitchell today, Miller, not Mitchell.
Miller.
I know, Mitchell. I know she's on. Andrea Miller, thank you so much for believing in us and working with us. Make sure you subscribe to the Substack. And Dennis, if you want to get making sure, I know the most important thing, have people come next week and we're not there. And the week after, we forgot to tell everybody we're going on holiday.
Not
Yeah.
exactly. We're going to
Not
be busting our
exactly.
asses on the Women's Summit. We got some homework to do. I'd like to think we're taking some time
I
off.
forgot to tell everybody in the room, and people are gone, but we will put out notices everywhere. We are taking the next 2 Fridays off. One's Memorial Day weekend, but we need time to plan the Women's Summit. Get your ticket today. The hotel is still $129. Book that darn hotel because it will go up. I think we have till June 10th. If you don't get it then, you're going to pay high prices or have to go to another hotel. Buy it, hold it, come. We're going to have a lot of fun. And I'm going to say that Abigail Spanberger is coming Friday night. Friday night, Abigail Spanberger is coming. We have some surprises around that. That's going to be really exciting. Her rolling in. I just can't say enough about it. But Friday night, there's chances to have meetups in the room. We have National Women's Political Caucus candidates will be there. We'll have Red Wine and Blue. We will have other meetups. And we have the postcard palooza if you're a writer from 4 to 7. We have the advocacy fair being set up that night. It's going to be a ton of fun. And then Saturday, Leah Greenberg, Nara Tandem, Robert Hubble. We're thinking about, we have some other surprises we're not maybe allowed to say. So we just have a boatload of things happening. Sunday, the Badass Brunch at 8 a.m. Darn skinny. You don't want to miss that one. That is going to be amazing. A lot of authors, movie, filmmakers, sisterhood is going to be talked about. It will be an amazing morning. Miss Margaret is coming live on Sunday morning. I am just saying all of this because I can, because we're going to now go over to the
I was going to say, we're going to play the music for you in just a second.
You won't see me next week. Good for you, everybody. Okay, let's roll. See you on the other side.